Welcome to the Mulligan Menace. We have a Discard Lessons deck today. So this was kind of based on the last black-blue discard deck that I created, where it did have the Boomerang basics, where I wanted to have it in there so I could bounce Bandit's talent and Momentum Breaker. But I really leaned into the lessons part of this because we already had the Boomerangs, we already had the Cruelties, and I realized that we could utilize the card draw ability of the lessons card. So we put in 4 of the wisdoms and 4 of the abandoned attachments, and this really helps out smooth out the land or the card draw for the deck. You don't have to worry about any other card draw um, items here. It also allows you to pitch away certain cards that are just kind of junky in your hand. Because sometimes if you end up running them out of cards, or if it's a deck that doesn't have any creatures or something like that, you almost hate to have a tactics. You can just pitch it to attachments, or same thing goes to the Duress. If it's all creatures, you can just pitch it to the attachments, things like that. We do have Villainous Wrath to help clear out the board, and it also allows you to do more damage to them if they do happen to have just a wide board state going on. The nice thing is, all in all, we have card draw here, we have card draw here, card draw here, card draw here, just a ton of card draw. Ultimately, you're still looking at the quandary and the talent to try to kill them off. These things work great hand in hand because if they're paying life to do this instead of discard spells, that's good for you. If they discard spells, they're going to be hurt into the bandit's talent, which works for you. And then obviously you got all of the discard as well. This does damage to them as well. So all in all, it's a fun deck. We got the Reef in there as well. Gets around sweepers, gets around sorcery speed removal. Really handy in that sense. So 12 swamps, 4 verges, and then 4 watery graves. And if I could have you guys hit that subscribe button, I post new videos every day. So if you'd like to see new content on YouTube every day for Magic Arena, please subscribe. Also, if you could hit like and then comment below what you'd like to see or what type of discard deck maybe that you guys would like to see in the future, because I really enjoy playing these discard decks. All right, let's get into the gameplay. All right, Lessons Discard. It's actually not a bad hand to start with. We go first. We'll keep it. We can get our basics down. We can hold up a Quenchia. Or sorry, not basics. We can do Ruthless. Then hold up a Quenchia. That or go into Bandit's Talent. I'd almost rather hold up a Quenchia, though. Okay, it's red. Oh, no. I had to exile that. So we're looking at the graveyard deck. So we don't necessarily want them to cast stuff this turn. Okay. See if we can quench them. Unfortunately, we can't. I think we just cast this for the draw. That's a pretty good one, I think. Just try to get their hand emptied quick here. Okay, Arden and Triumph. The fact that they got rid of the Triumph tells me that they're probably not in great shape. See if they have a counter. They don't have a counter. Okay, that's not good. We might be in trouble here. Kind of wish we would have kept a counter at this point. Okay, I think we're somewhat okay then. Does allow them to get a draw. They discard. Another Triumph. I think we Duress. Okay, so they just have a Mind Bitten and a Greeter. I think this is probably a good play then. and then we can quench the Mind Bit. And if we don't do that, we still have the Abandon. I don't think we want to do that, though. We don't want to discard a quench you. Think to this Duress. There we go. Get rid of that Mind Bitten. Then they're playing off the top of their deck at that point. I'm fine if they counter it because we can just quench it. Interesting. Okay. I think we just keep the quench up. That's the only thing that can really hurt us right now. Okay, we will do that. Okay, we're gonna go for the faster kill here. Pump this up. They get a Mind Bitten off the top, we lose. Okay, there's another discard. They'll take 6 damage a turn. Alright, I think we got him. Nice. Good game. Alright, we go first on this one. This actually is a pretty good hand. We'll keep it. To do some discard. Unfortunately, it's not... shouldn't say it's a good hand because it doesn't have targeted removal. It's more... or discard. It's just incidental discard. They get to pick, which is a lot different than us being able to pick. Interesting. Got rid of Counterspell. That's actually not that bad. Is this a Kona deck? Kind of looks like it. I'll just use this to do some more discarding here. Boomerang. Let's do a tap land, more discard. Second Boomerang. That's a really good card. Let's look at their hand. See if they got a Kona. They might have a counter too. There's their Kona. Okay, they got an Omniscience and a River Regent. I'm going to do this just in case we have another discard that we can draw. Discard that. Accumulate Wisdom. Now I kind of wish we had the land. Hey! This is actually a pretty good card here. They're probably going to keep the card draw. They might cast it ahead of time, to be honest with you. That's probably the right thing to do. Cast Consult the Stars. That way they have 4 cards to pick from. Or 3 cards. 2 cards? 3 cards. 2 cards. So they would have 4 cards total. I guess they had the draw with the river region. And they still have the other card draw. Wow. So this means they might have a Kona here. The way they did that. Yeah. Here comes the omniscience. I don't know if I'm all that worried about this, though. I keep filling his wrath up. I mean, he's playing off the top of his deck. I think I got to do this. Follow it up with that. Accumulate wisdom. Can bounce back to their hand. So we can always bounce non-land permanent. We can bounce the omniscience back to their hand. If we can get a... Oh, we have the discard here. So let's do that next turn. Come on, play your card. Oh, that's not cool. We're going to get the Quandary out. I think we're going to do this just to try to empty their hand. It's just a land. They have this. Oh, they took damage instead. Interesting. I'm in the draw. The nice thing is that they can only draw so much. Like, if they keep getting draw spells, they're going to be taking damage if they cast. Otherwise, they have to discard. Like this. You're going to take 5 damage, or are you going to discard? Probably going to discard a land. No, I took the damage. River Regent. He's going to bounce my Quandary. But we can cast the Quandary and bounce the River Regent back to his hand. Interesting. We can't get them to discard 2 cards, unfortunately. So I think we just go with... That's an instant too. 4 casting costs though, okay. He has an omniscience, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to be taking 10 damage here. Maybe we do this. Let's do this. Follow it up with that. Did find another bounce. We can take 2 damage here. Get him to discard. Or kill their creature and discard. We're going to hold on to the Boomerang basics in case we need to bounce them back to their hand. That's good. Get this down. Have them start taking damage. We'll get the Painful Quandary down next. Enters tapped. And they still have the Omniscience. And draw spells are live for them. Yep, there's their draw spell. So we can still be in trouble here. Alright. Get this down. Get Bandit's talent down. They only had land in their hand, I bet. So they discarded either that or they wanted to keep a spell. All right, they have to discard this. This means we can... Well, they have 2 in hand. Okay, they discard 1. Do we have enough here? We can do 5. Okay, if we draw a land, we can bounce a talent. Oh, we can't bounce a talent. Shoot. Oh, Quench is actually pretty nice. Well, they're dead. Anyway, we just do that. Look at that. Played through an Omniscience. Trigger that up so they take the damage. And turn. Double trigger. Good game. One goes first. Hopefully it's a creature heavy deck. We got a lot of removal here. We'll keep this. Okay, it's a sacrifice deck. Oh, no. Got 1 we have to get rid of. Let's do that. Better not just be a discard deck. I gotta think it's the skeleton deck, but we'll see. Which makes these a lot weaker. Ketramos deck. Interesting. Alright. Actually, it's not too bad of a hand if that's the case. Okay, that's... 2 of them? Jesus. Let's get this tapped. We don't have an artifact. Creature. Turn. Fortunately, we're just going to be having them sack the prisoners with those, but not much more we can do with it. And cycle the team fight. Hate to cast that. I think we just might draw cards at the end of this turn. We'll see how this goes. Well, come on. You don't need to rope me. They might just hold on to these so that they can try killing my creatures, but I don't really have too many of them. I mean, I can turn on a reef, but that's not instant speed. My turn. Let's do this. We'll drop the tactics. Ooh, Quandary's pretty nice. Let's have him discard. They got an instant speed. Have them discard again. Force their hand here. And I guess they got the sack here, so maybe that's what's holding up the show. We can do Painful Quandary next turn. Oh, that was nice. I guess it doesn't really target anything that we have too much. They do have a catcher mouse. That's a little unfortunate. Let's get the Quandary out. Take 5 damage. A little unfortunate. We have to get one of our sacrifice effects. I can start doing some damage here. They're only at 10 life, so that's an interesting predicament for them. Would I discard this? Yes, I would. Just to keep 0-point ballot, because he's going to cast this, which will give him a card draw. That's pretty good. I think we just turn this on. We'll make a mill. Might give him an extra negotiation. I have a feeling Ketramos is going to get turned on this turn no matter what. That was pretty good. 2 Ashiaks. He has to get cards in his hand. We do have a Duress, which is nice, actually. He casted. Okay, so he's going to take 2 damage next turn. Okay, he wanted a lifelink. We can sweep the board here. He's at 2 life, though. Alright, take damage. And gain 3 life. He'll gain 3 more there. So it'll be a 5 with that. But I can attack in for 4 now. Because he didn't turn on Catch Remorse. Take 2. Good game. Alright, we go first. We'll keep this one. I like having a tactics to start. Well, that's a pretty strong early one for them. Okay, these both are annoying. This is annoying. You can get that out on turn 1. We do have a Villainous Wrath, which is kind of an interesting situation. Maybe we do this. Delay him a turn, try to get to our Wrath. Okay, we will force discard. Do the same thing next turn. Hopefully we draw land. Because my guess is he's going to do a reinforcements into the lieutenant, maybe? He might do Great Divide. Just to get the mana. Ah, he dropped reinforcements. I was kind of hoping. Okay, he's doing it for the card draw. I think we just do this. Don't give him card draw. Then we can talent and pump. Again, we need to get our land here. That's pretty good. He didn't cast anything, which is interesting. Get this going. Like, why did he not cast the guide? That's why. It's got some flash going. Now he can do his guide, then have an extra mana available. I think we just do this. Followed by that. We just need to draw our land to do the sweep. Because they're going to start taking damage. We'll take 6. Yep. Just need our sweep. And we'll be in really good shape. That's not our sweep. We'll cycle that for the land. We did find our land. 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. That's a lot. It was just a land. turn. Okay, we will Villainous Wrath. Take 4 damage. There we go. Take 4 more. Quandary is going to be there. Okay, that is okay. Quandary. I could just attack in. Down. I mean, this literally just stops them from casting a spell next turn. And I'll only take 1 damage. Attack in. Good game. All right, opponent goes first. We do have the Boomerang, which doesn't do a whole lot. We can slow down the opponent with it. Ruthless. Cruelty is a little nicer, but we'll keep it, I guess. We don't have any blue mana. We probably could have mulliganed because of that, but we are on the draw, and we have plays. Okay, that is a really good one to start with. 4-8 is fantastic to get rid of. I would love to get rid of the stock up. But we don't have that decision here. Hoping they keep their land. Okay, that's not the worst. I get 4 cards. We can get them to discard 2 of those. I'm hoping they keep the Day of Judgment, but I think they'll toss it. Yeah. Yeah, they both their creature removals they got rid of. Alright. Oh, we still don't have blue. Jeez. Let's get this out there. This is going to make it a lot harder for them to start to cast stuff. Gotta discard. Or do 5 damage. Take 5 damage. Come on. Yeah. It means we can just discard. That was kind of silly because they knew we had a discard. I think we just do this. We can get Momentum Breaker this next turn. Then we have Boomerang basics once we get. Oh yeah, we'll pay that. Pass. My turn. Force them to discard. Pass and turn. That's where this Quandary is such a good card. My turn. Another base. Okay. Hey, all right. Next, end turn. Pass, my turn. Force them to discard again. They'll start taking damage. And we could start drawing as well. Did that all without blue mana. Yeah, that's cute. Let's see here. We don't have blue mana, so we might as well just cast this and win the game. Good game. All right, we go first. I'm not a huge fan of this hand. We don't have any blue mana. Duress is really nice. Last game we just never drew blue mana, so we're gonna mulligan this. Okay, much better. We'll keep this. Oh man, Boomerang's actually pretty good. Let's do this. Boomerang can be our draw spells. Get Watery Grave down. We'll just Bandit's Talent, and then we'll follow it up with a Boomerang, and then Bandit's Talent. Candy Trail. We're playing against an Ugin deck. And Braid. That's fine. Alright, they draw a card. We'll bounce that. It might actually... to go after an artifact might be the appropriate play here. Especially if it's a ramp. Oh, Hive Pool. That's like their win con, which is nice. Banishing Light is interesting. Split Up we don't care about. This gets rid of enchantments. It's an instant as well. I mean, we can basically get rid of 2 cards by doing this. They're going to get rid of this with their disenchant, but that's okay. Split Up they're going to get rid of? Okay. I think we pitch the Reef. Quandary's interesting because they got the Banishing Light. So I kind of want to cast this. Just to get rid of the Banishing Light, I think that might be the draw. You know, maybe this is. I think this is going to kind of force their... Yeah, this is going to force them to discard Vanishing Light or Ugin. Yeah, they kept the Banishing Light to go after the talent. And we will bounce it back to our hand. And then if they play a land, we can force them to discard the land. Or their talent. Perfect. Let's discard it, and then we can cast our Quandary. Okay, we're in good shape now. Put the Quandary down. Then we can start getting them to sacrifice their hand. Disenchant. Okay. Let's duress them. Here's the high pool. Oh, I could have done it a different way, but that's fine. This takes care of the Ugin. I guess we'll just do it that way. Momentum breaker, force a discard. Hopefully it's like a hive pool or an Ugin. It is! Let's start our card draw. And trail. I'd laugh if they end up drawing. Okay, they put them both at the bottom. Alright, we're going to Annihilate Wisdom. Loom Lake it. We'll get the reef going. Good game. Alright, I go first. Interesting hand. I don't have many discards, but we do have a counter on turn 2. We can do Restless Reef to start out. Okay, they got the elf. We can turn 2. Go after their Badgermole. Really? We can Momentum Breaker. I guess we just do that. Keep the Quencha up. Pummeler. Okay, we can bounce the elves. Keep it indestructible. Come on. Yep. Sacrifice it. Enter it's tapped. Okay, Druneth, followed by that. That's pretty strong. We do have the 0-point ballad. Seems pretty strong. Good game. All right, opponent goes first on this one. We do have a turn 1-2 play, plus we have 3 lands into a Wrath on turn 5. Even though we don't have blue, I'm going to keep it. We're on the draw, so that helps out. Okay, that is not something I wanted to see, but we'll see how it goes. 1, 2, 3 is pretty good. So if they cast a creature next turn, we can Momentum Breaker it. And then a turn after, we can Cruelty and hopefully draw a land. If we draw a blue land, we can even bounce the breaker. That'd be ideal. Okay, perfect. Kind of the one I was hoping for. Let's get this out to start. We can make them sacrifice Needlehead. Astronaut. They did have 2 creatures, unfortunately. I think it'd be better if we force a double discard. Yeah, 2 ball lightnings. Or burst lightnings. It's pretty good. Okay. Okay. They did tap out, so let's we'll pay 2 life. That we can do this. We're just trying to prevent a little bit of loss of life here. And we want to draw a card so we can get our swamp for that Villainous Wrath. And then we can drop the Breaker to have him sacrifice a creature, which will be the Bastronaut. He kept the Bastronaut. I suppose he can pump that twice. So it is tempting. And turn. Okay, I'm hoping he pumps it twice. 3. Okay. The question is, do we just go for the discard rather than the Villainous Wrath? I think we do, because they can drop a creature next turn, and they can only pump that again twice. Could also draw a card with that, but I think this is good to start getting the damage in. Okay. I might just gain 2 life at the end of the turn here, too. Okay, that's pretty good on their part, but we can just Villainous Wrath. Let's just gain 2 life while we're at it here. Yep. Ooh, that's pretty good. We do have to do this just to stay alive. Next and turn. They're just live off the top of their deck, unfortunately. Oh, that's the best we could have hoped for. Okay, we're just hoping they draw basically nothing. Turn. We can fire up our card draw next turn. What do they got? Momentum Breaker would probably be a really good draw for us. Oh, wow. Let's do this to start out. Lightning Strike. Okay, we'll fire this up. Okay, if they draw land, we win. If they draw anything else, we're pretty much dead. They didn't slam it. That's a win. Good game. All right, we go first. We do have both colors, which is awesome. A lot of good cards. We don't have anything that can pick apart their hand, unfortunately, but that's all right. Let's just do this to start getting them to discard. To see what kind of deck they're playing here. All right, just black. Saboteur. All right, we can get rid of that. All right, I think we're going to do this so we can try to find our card draw. Or our land, I mean. There's tapped. Well, I think we're kind of in a situation where we need to find removal. Or a bounce for that momentum breaker. That Quenchia might really help us here, we'll see. Don't do the Rush of Dread. All right, well, I could have won the game with the combo. Relentless Reef. Let's do this. We got tactics in there. Talent. All right, good game. One goes first. We'll keep it. Probably end up momentum breaking. If not, we'll cast the... Yeah, they're going to cast the... Authorities. I don't mind that. We'll hold on to this. Pitch a land to it. Rest in peace. Well, that makes our wisdom a lot worse. Yeah, that's fine. Guess we'll just do this right away then. We'll put that one in our hand. Kind of cycles through more of the cards. Guess we do this to get them pitch 2 cards at once. And then they'll pretty much be empty because we got momentum breakers and they'll probably put a land down and maybe cast something. What do they get rid of? They got rid of an Elspeth. And Avatar's Wrath. Interesting. Momentum breaker. And then we're going to momentum breaker again. Because they're probably holding on to another Elspeth. Yeah. Okay. Can get our reef out here. First, I think we cast that, pitch a land. Bandit's Tail, it's not bad. The reef out. We'll get the Bandit's Talent out. We'll be able to start pumping it up next turn. That can be a card draw engine. Yep, taking damage. We might have to bounce that back with the I suppose we could bounce back a momentum breaker. That's going to come back in 2 turns. And they're just going to make a 1/1. I'm going to do this. Get more card draw. Get our momentum breaker. Villainous Wrath actually is pretty good. That might be the play when this comes into play. That I don't have a problem with. Ooh. I think we just get this down. And then next turn we'll Villainous Wrath. Take 2. Well, we have to do this because we can only cast 1 spell. They can sacrifice 1 for a draw, which still means they take 3 damage. This out. We can cycle our tactic. Our turn. Unfortunately, they're drawing enough to make it so they don't take damage. And they have to discard, though, if they cast something. And then we can momentum breaker if we really need to. Pass. Accumulate wisdom. Boomerang. Ooh, this is good. Boomerang is high noon. Okay. I should have held off. I should have Intimidate Tactic first. Okay. Just see what they got going on. This will determine whether we do... Okay, they just got land. They got a lot of cards that can beat us, including just a fish. Try Duressing them. Okay. We can make them do 4 damage. Let's just do this. They let this through, the momentum breaker will cause them to do damage. Okay. I think we still do this. Discard a card. So they have to draw a card to win. We'll take 4 damage. We're both at 1. Good game. All right, that was Discard Lessons. I gotta say, I really enjoyed the card draw that was in this deck compared to the last black-blue discard deck that I had. Boomerang Basics, obviously we had that in the last deck as well. Really helps with card draw, but having the Abandoned Attachments and Accumulate Wealth, I really didn't have too much of a problem getting enough lessons in the yard to fire off the Wisdom, so I was really happy with the card draw in this. Quencha still surprises me with how good it is in this deck. Works well as a lesson in the yard. If it's later game, you can always pitch it to something like the Abandoned Attachments, so you don't mind doing that. Cruelty, another lesson. It's always a nice one to have that. It tends to get rid of those last 2 cards in their hand, or if they're trying to hold on onto a couple because you got the Bandit's talent out. That's always nice to have. A lot of lessons in the deck. All in all, this is a pretty fun list. I think it needs more sweepers though to be competitive. It's really streaky when you play this deck. You'll play it and you'll feel like a champ because you're just winning every game, and then you'll go on a lull where you just lose a lot of games in a row. And I do suggest, if you do see that, a lot of times what it happens is you just start facing a certain type of meta, and if you just put this on the shelf for a day and bring it back, you'll face a completely different meta. That's kind of how Arena works, especially at Mythic level, where you'll see certain set of decks just repeatedly over the course of a few hours. So if you're playing a deck that just doesn't mesh well with those decks, you're going to have a bad time. So you want to sometimes shelve a deck like this and then bring it out when it's more favorable. So definitely try playing it. I think there's some tweaks that need to be done with the rafts that are in it, but all in all, pretty fun deck. I enjoy this one better than the other black-blue deck. If you could, hit that subscribe button below. Help out the channel. We got new videos every day. So have a fantastic day.